So this is going to be mostly about just random ballot measures throughout the country and a little bit about some other things. Hopefully I don't talk about the two main fucking assholes. So a little good news, right? Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders both retained their seats as senators. So that's all right, right? The Senate has flipped 41 to 42, Republican to Democrat. It was 51 to 49 with Democrats just having a 2-seat majority. Now 51 to 42, so the best you can expect is for the Republicans, if you're a Democrat, to have only a 2-seat majority. If any more Republicans win, then that's just another, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh my God, both sides were bragging about the landslide. Vanguard said it was going to be a fucking landslide. Fucking dumbass, overconfident motherfuckers. You think Kamala running around with Liz Cheney did her good? That was real smart, Kamala. You did the you're a Republican fucking campaign. You have no progressive values, no war on poverty. You're not going to help the homelessness problem. Why would you want to reform the police? Why would you want to goddamn stop the fucking genocide? Why would you want to do any of all those things that she promised when she ran against Bernie Sanders? Where was the fucking universal health care? What about a public fucking option? Fucking shit, man. She offered a few liberal breadcrumbs. Oh, you're going to give the power to the FTC to stop price gouging? Fucking shit. All right, I said I wasn't going to talk about them too. So let's talk about the ballot measures. So 90% approves the ballot measure number 1 in Arkansas. 85% reporting. So that's pretty much good as gold to use lottery funds for vocational and technical school scholarships. That's pretty good. So Arkansas is going to take the lottery funds that they make off the lottery, and they're going to have scholarships for vocational and technical schools. Ballot measure number 2 in Arkansas is local voter approval for casinos. 85% are reporting, so subject to change, right? 56% are for it. So that seems good too, right? Do you want a casino? I don't know. Ask the local voters. 57% to 43% says no to legal magic mushrooms in Massachusetts. Now think about how sexy these issues are. When I go to Massachusetts, I'm like, did magic mushrooms get legalized? Basically when I think about the ballot measures, it's like the coolest ones are the ones I go to. And then when I'm just kind of looking at the ballot measures, it's like, well, shit, what else is fucking Massachusetts doing? So Massachusetts is not sexy. They're not going to legalize magic mushrooms. Did they already legalize marijuana? They better. That's where the fucking revolution began. So they're just going to stop it at marijuana, and then that's it. None of the marijuana thing passes. Not fucking North Dakota, South Dakota, or Florida. But that was 65% was reporting. So that could change, 57 to 43%, but that seems like a pretty wide margin, right? 14 points. It's looking like Massachusetts is not going to legalize magic mushrooms, but Massachusetts ballot issue number 1, 72% says yes, they're going to allow audits of the state legislature. 66% reporting, right? So, seems like it could change, but 72%, that seems like that's well in the bag. Audits of state legislatures. Of course, the fucking executive, judicial, and legislative branch needs to be audited, especially if the Republicans are going to control the Supreme Court, the House, the Senate, and the presidency, right? You're going to need someone to audit them bastards. Let's spend trillions of dollars on a bunch of fucking porn models. Everybody gets a porn model. Everybody gets to fucking lie on their business. Everybody gets to... Massachusetts ballot measure number 2, 59% in favor of repeals of a competency exam to graduate high school. What? So Massachusetts schools, they're not going to pass competent students anymore. They're done with passing competent students. Fucking great. So you're going to force everybody to go to school, but you don't care if they actually get educated. That's fucking brilliant, Massachusetts. I think you should pass the civics exam in order to pass high school. You don't know sentence number 1 of the U.S. Constitution. You don't know your Bill of Rights. How do you know what to do in America? You're not allowed to do this, A, B, and C, but you are allowed to do fucking D, E, F. You don't know? your fucking rights? You never read the preamble? You've never read sentence number 1 of the U.S. Constitution, you stupid, unvirtuous, anti-American piece of shit? You're not going to get a diploma. Raise your standards. If you know anything about fucking education, people meet your standards. If you have high standards, they will meet them. Don't lower your standards. Raise them. Jesus, Muhammad, Christ on a cracker. 68% was reporting on that. So that's 30 more percent that could change. But Jesus, 59%. You know that competency exam? Yeah, it was real tough. I didn't like it. Let's get rid of it. Should we audit the state legislature? Yes, I think we should. Should we allow freedom for the individuals and go ahead and do some magic mushrooms? What the fuck are you talking about? Get the hell out of here. So that's the message. Florida needs 60% of the vote to pass a ballot measure. What the fuck, Florida? You need 60%? You need 60% of the vote to pass a ballot measure. How's that democracy? Well, most of the state won in marijuana, but 44%, they win. So the vote for marijuana in Florida was 56% says yes, 44% says no. So the 44% have it. What the fucking Florida? You stupid ass Florida alligator, fucking crazy motherfucking sons of bitches. The majority should win. How are you going to say that 44% motherfuckers should get what they want? You need 60% of the vote to pass the ballot measure. Is that even fucking legal? How's that democracy? Well, 56% said yes, 44% said no, so we're not going to do it. You're also not doing a right to abortion, 57% to 43%. That's just the government saying fuck the people. Okay, the people want legal marijuana, but fuck the people. The people want a right to abortion too, 57% to 43%. That's not 60%. Looks like the 43%, they win. Again, the 43% of the people fucking win. Fucking shit, man. Fucking shit, man. Now, there was a missed bullet in Florida. They were going to repeal the public financed elections. That's welfare for politicians. That gives poor people the same amount of financing and the same amount of airtime and the same amount of coverage. It should make it easier. It should make it better, having public financed elections. I like it in theory. I like it on paper. But that didn't get 60%. It was barely 50.3% to 49.7%. So repealing barely had a majority, but 50.3% isn't 60%. So I don't know if Florida passed. Oh yeah, Florida did pass one measure. Hunting and fishing are going to be a constitutional right. So that's good, right? 67% of Floridians are going to make hunting and fishing a constitutional right. So that's one exciting thing, but no right to an abortion, no legal marijuana. You barely kept your public financed elections. There's states out there that are clamoring for public financed elections. Get rid of it. Who cares? If anything, I guess, thank God for the 60%, huh? Fucking nuts. I guess that's an affirmative thing, right? You would rather, let's just err on the side of caution and let's not give immunity to all the damn politicians. Nah, let's err on the side of caution. We're going to say no. Are you going to eat food and water and get you some housing? I'm going to err on the side of caution. I know the majority want it, but it wasn't. I know 57% of me wants a right to an abortion and 56% of me wants a legal marijuana. But that's not 60%. I need to be convinced 60% that I agree with it. I only barely agree with abortion and marijuana. I need to really, really agree. North Dakota, they fucking 53%. So the majority of North Dakota said no, and the majority of South Dakota, 60% said no. So South Dakota, 60%, they met the 60% threshold. But North Dakota, I don't know, they said no, so would that be the fucking 47% has it? So no legalization of marijuana anywhere in the country. That was South Dakota, North Dakota, and Florida. So never go to the fucking Dakotas. There's just a bunch of anti-individual freedom drunkards who live there. Oh, you're going to go ahead and get drunk all day long, you fucking Dakota son of a bitch? 55% of South Dakota requires work requirements for Medicare, though. So double fuck South Dakota. Wasn't that governor, didn't she kill a fucking pet? So she kills pets, but Peanut the squirrel is going to put him in the fucking office? Shouldn't she resign? I mean, basically that's like North Dakota, 64% are not going to repeal property taxes. That's 99% reporting, so that's as good as gold too. Which I guess that's fine. That's fine, right? Property taxes are usually minimal, but people are like, you never get to own your own house. You got to pay $50 a year for the rest of your life. You know how much rent is, you sons of bitches? $1,000 every fucking month. That's $50 a year. That's cheap-ass rent compared to what, $12,000 a year? When it comes to Indiana, talk about how out of fucking... Oh, man. So 54% of Indiana, they passed ballot issue number 1. So what does Indiana think is the most important issue confronting Indiana? I heard so many crazy shit coming out of Indiana. Indiana. You had a father who stabbed a son because of dirty dishes. You had a son who killed a father because his feet was fucking stinky. You had these two assholes that killed their own kids, and then the public, some fucking lawyer said that the corpus delicti, he says a Latin phrase, they just text message each other. So they don't have any evidence because they don't have the kids' bodies. They never signed up for Social Security, so they don't even know if they had 2 kids or 3 kids. And since all they have is the confessions of their text messages texting back to each other, well, that's not enough evidence. Get the hell out of here, you two fucking child-killing fucking bastards. That's all Indiana. All that is in the motherfucking Anna. So ballot issue number 1, which is going to pass 54%, they're going to remove the superintendent of the schools from the line of succession for the governor. So theoretically, say the governor just, gets old, has a heart attack, pneumonia, I don't know, something happens, right? Say he just wants to go to he wants to go to Mars. I'm out of here, you damn Hoosiers. So then that would go to the lieutenant governor. And then I would think that it would go to like the fucking leader of the damn legislature. I guarantee you there's 3 people that's above the superintendent of the schools. So either they just must hate the superintendent of the schools, because how is this an issue? How often has the governor been in office and something happened to him? They went missing, they died, got shot. There's only been one governor in America who's ever been assassinated in America, and that was in Kentucky in 1990, William Justice Goebel. What's up? Represent William Justice Goebel. Indiana's ballot measure, it's out of touch. It's so out of touch as fuck. Republican Mike Braun is going to win the governor's race. So if something was to happen to him and then his, second in command, third in command, fourth in command, fifth in command, rest assured, Indiana, you're not going to have the superintendent of the public schools. Or was it the public or the regents? You're not going to have some fucking educational fucking bastard taking over. Make sure you have some non-educational bastard who wins. Make sure you get the treasurer. That's who you want, the secretary. So Jennifer McCormick lost. Mike Braun wins the governor's seat 55% to 41%. The Libertarian got 5% in Indiana. Donald Rainwater, he got 5% in Indiana. Greg Gianforte, the Republican, won Montana 65% to 32%. The Libertarian only got 2% there. 65 to 32%, that's a fucking blowout. Holy shit. That's 33 percentage points. Democrat Bob Ferguson wins the governor's race in Washington State. I like Bob Ferguson. He says that cops should have a higher standard. Washington, I bet you, is going to be, man, I've been living in these fucking red states my whole life. It'd be nice to live in like a fucking institutionalized blue state. Because they would have, they would have the opposite issues, right? That one fucking guy says that He's never seen racism growing up. Motherfucker, the reason why I consider myself a liberal is because that's all I saw was Confederate fucking Nazi fucking KKK flags growing up. It was like growing up in Alabama. You know there's racists all over. They've been fucking a red state for decades. So it'd be nice to live in a blue state for a while. They would have completely different problems. Maybe being too soft on everything, too much of a bleeding heart, care about the community too much. They want to change too many things too quickly. So Bob Ferguson, the Democrat, wins Washington State. The Republican wins. I want to say the races between the governors, you have, what? 27 Republican governors and 23 Democrat governors. So we got more Republican governors over Democrat governors. Republican took Indiana, Republican took Montana, and a Democrat took Washington State. Spencer Cox is going to win the Utah governor's race, 54% to 54%. Spencer Cox. Utah's a bunch of fucking cocks, man. I agree with Spencer Cox on his libertarian views, but he's just like a little cue ball, fucking short little fucking cue ball. The Senate has been flipped. They flipped the fucking Senate 51 to 42 so far. It was 51 to 49. Democrats were up by 2. Now the Republicans are going to be at least up by 2. So Spencer Cox wins the Utah governor's race. He's the Republican, 54% to 34%. That's 20 points. Phil Lyman was a write-in candidate, and he got 8%. A Libertarian got 2%. But who the fuck is this Phil Lyman? I only read a little bit about him, but he was a Republican who ran against Spencer Cox, lost by 9 points. He pushed for a write-in campaign. And then there's 2 other Lymans that were on the ballot. Then Phil Lyman sued them and then kicked them off, which clearly there was election interference, right? Hey, let's put 2 other Lymans on the ballot. So is that Spencer Cox? What the fuck? He sues them, then they drop out, and then is that lawsuit gone? I think Phil Lyman should push that lawsuit. You're just going to have 2 other fucking Lyman assholes on a write-in fucking ballot? I think it's amazing. A Republican turned independent, Phil Lyman, got 8% of the vote in Utah. So the goddamn, what's that fucking religious group in Utah? The polygamists, the Mormons. So 8% of them Mormon bastards, they really like fucking Phil Lyman. Mark Robinson got 2.2 million votes in North Carolina. Josh Stein won 55% to 40%, so that's, respectable 15% lead. The Libertarian got 3%, but Mark Robinson got 2.2 million votes. 2.2 million people in goddamn motherfucking, where is this, North Carolina? Let's check out the governor's race. How much did Josh Stein end up getting? 3 million votes. So that's pretty good, right? He won by almost 1 million votes, 800,000 votes. But if you walk through North Carolina and you're a registered voter and you voted in this election, that means 2 out of 5 of you, 2 out of 5 of y'all were like, you know what? That Mark Robinson, I like how he makes comments on porn sites. It's real smart. He needs to argue about politics. He gets on porn sites and argues about politics. That's a good man right there. That's the kind of man that I want to. 27 Republican governors in America, 23. This is not a good night for Democrats at all. The Republicans are taking the governor's chairs. They're taking the Senate. They're taking the House. Taking the presidency. 6-3. He's already taken the Supreme Court. Should have voted for Bernie Sanders, huh? Should have actually voted for a progressive or a socialist or a liberal or somebody that was actually on the left. Y'all kept being fucking right-wing conservative fucking piles of shit. You ran with fucking Cheneys. You tried to cozy up to the Republicans so that they'd love you back. Obama beat Hillary because he ran to her left. School choice lost in Colorado and Donald Trump's Kentucky. School choice lost in Kentucky and in Colorado. But forbidding non-citizens in Kentucky from voting is winning. So those are the 2 ballot measures in Kentucky. No school choice. You're stuck in public schools, and if you don't fucking show up for 1 single day, you're a goddamn truant, Huck Finn. And Huck Finn, we're going to throw you and your parents and your grandparents in jail. And it doesn't matter if you're a valedictorian, doesn't matter if you make straight A's, doesn't matter if you're a political science graduate from college, doesn't matter if you got a BA in political science. If a goddamn fucking principal wants to lie to you about having a survey, he don't have any goddamn democracy. The damn students don't know any civics. They don't know how many branches are in the government, and who gives a shit? You got to obey the superintendent, the principal, the teacher. It's very strict hierarchy here. The only saving grace is that maybe you could get into a school board. I want freedom and democracy. I want a Sudbury, Summerhill kind of education. And is that a big problem in Kentucky, having a bunch of non-citizens trying to vote? Man, a whole bunch of fucking people from Tennessee tried to vote. Man, a whole bunch of goddamn Bolivians. What the hell are all them Bolivians doing in goddamn Letcher County? Why are so many Bolivians voting in Letcher County? Yeah, what's the fucking turnout rate? The turnout rate is what, 50%? You don't even have Kentuckians voting in fucking Kentucky elections. Let's see what the turnout rate is in Kentucky. Not the governor's race. Let's look at the presidential race. Well, it's only saying that there's about 2 million votes. And I want to say Kentucky has a total population of 5 million. Total population, Kentucky, 4.5 million. So 2 million voted. And we'll say some of them are what? Too old, too young to vote or something. So we'll say that's 50%. Most Kentuckians did not vote. Most Kentuckians are like, no, I'm not going to vote. No, I'm not going to do that. You want me to vote? I went to public education. They never taught us about how do you vote. You got to go into the thing and turn the knob. You got to fill in a bubble. I'm sick of filling in bubbles. Like Massachusetts, they don't want to do no competency exams. Jill Stein got 7,000 votes. Robert Kennedy got 16,000 votes. Chase Oliver got 6,000 votes. And then Shiva Ayyadurai. Who? He got 1,000 votes. Well, I guess I'm laughing. I would have voted. I like Chase Oliver and Jill Stein. Robert Kennedy isn't even in the election, so they basically were like, you know what? I literally am going to throw my vote away. I'm gonna vote for the guy that's not even in it. I'm gonna vote for the guy who's never could win, even if I voted him for 15. If I got the whole damn community, the whole damn state, and if you combine all those, 8%, 4%, 3%, what is that? Fucking 1.5%. The Kamala Harris, that's 34%. She goes up to 36% versus 65%. Holy fucking shit. Talk about KKK, Confederate fucking goddamn Nazi land. So does that mean we all got to become fucking Nazis? If he wins, you want to check out, let's just check out the fucking election real quick. Should we? I know, I got the ballot measures I'm trying to stick with. I just cannot fucking believe it. So let's just take a look at it real quick here. 247 for Trump. Harris is 214. Holy shit. Holy shit. Donald just needs 23 fucking votes. So Pennsylvania, that's 19. If Pennsylvania goes for him, which it looks like it's about to, 94% is voting, 200,000 difference. That's coming to the wire. Holy shit. But all he needs is Pennsylvania and another 4, right? Pennsylvania, Maine, Michigan, Wisconsin, Minnesota, Nevada, fucking Arizona, Alaska. Alaska only has 3 electoral college votes. So if he gets Pennsylvania and Alaska, he can't get any more. If he gets Pennsylvania, that's it. That's the whole fucking show, right? I mean, 19, that's basically, well, he's not there. But he would have to get another one, which there's 6 states up, and you got Nevada, Arizona, Alaska, Wisconsin, Michigan, that's already light red. Fucking shit. Does Peanut the Squirrel, you know what? I'm glad they cared about Peanut the Squirrel. That's a softball issue. Hey, I took this guy's pet, his entire livelihood, the entire business was built upon this tiny squirrel, and I killed it! Oh, man! I don't know, Kamala. Maybe people don't like you killing a bunch of women and children and old people in fucking Gaza, and they don't like you killing people's fucking pets. Thomas Massey, his race wasn't contested. A lot of people are congratulating him. Congratulations, Thomas Massey. What are you congratulating him? Thank God You beat that no. But the only way he could have lost is if he didn't vote. All he needed was one fucking vote. So he wound up getting, 20,000 votes. No Democrats, no Greens, no Independents ran against him. But at least AIPAC can't hold him down, right? Cori Bush, they spent $9 million to throw Cori Bush out in Missouri. That's a lot of fucking money. AIPAC spent a lot of fucking money to hold Cori Bush down. So Kentucky's congressional district number 4 is pretty... Let Thomas Massey, I'm not fucking conservative, but I like that he stood up to AIPAC. I like that he tells the fucking truth. He's like a scientist, a fucking mathematician, like a geometrist, a fucking physicist. He uses his head. He also claimed to be a Christian, which the AP race call, Democrat Melanie Stansbury wins re-election to the U.S. House in New Mexico. She's super progressive. The 1st congressional district, so that's cool. Rhode Island is rejecting the Constitutional Convention. 63% says no. Rhode Island also authorized bonds for higher education and housing and environment and recreation and cultural arts. Some Constitutional Convention ballot measures are coming up in America. There's going to be a Constitutional Convention ballot question in Michigan in 2026 in 2 years, and then Connecticut, Hawaii, and Illinois in 4 years. So 2028, and then Montana is going to ask if we need a Constitutional Convention in 6 years. So that's 2030. Representative Lauren Boebert, she won her race for Colorado's 4th congressional district. 88% was reporting in Indiana. Donald won that fucking state. I already mentioned all this. RFK wasn't even in the election, but he got more votes than the Libertarian. How is RFK beating so many fucking people? The third parties, you need a fucking superstar. You need a rock star. You need goddamn The Rock, Will Ferrell. You need somebody with name recognition. Rihanna, fucking even goddamn Cardi B probably would have done better than the fucking third party candidates. Amendment 79 passed as Colorado voters are going to enshrine access to abortion in the state's constitution. 61% of voters supported the amendment. Plus it allows public financing for abortions. So you get to use your Medicaid cards now. In order to get abortions in Colorado, you could abort up to 9 months, abort here. You get abortion. You get an abortion. Everybody gets an abortion in Colorado. That's 65% reporting, 61%. That seems... Colorado also, 73% approves a judicial discipline review board. That's pretty cool. I mean, my God, the fucking judges and cops are out of fucking control. Amendment 8, 64% reporting. So, judicial discipline review board. 70% removed the right to bail for first-degree murder charges. That's Amendment I. That's Colorado, 64% reporting. So, do you have a right to bail? Hey! All I did was just shoot the guy. I get to get out on bail. Don't I? Sir, don't I get to get out on bail? Nope, not if you're charged with first-degree murder. I was just jaywalking. They're just charging me with this fucking charge. 64% repeals ban on homosexual marriage. The right was in Colorado Bill of Rights, which, how's that a right? Well, if you're gay, you have no rights. That was overturned by the Supreme Court anyway, so it wasn't really law, but it's some house cleaning. So that's good, right? Homosexuals can get married. They can have abortions. They can smoke their weed. They can smoke their fucking magic mushrooms. They can go out and play with the wolves. They're going to make a ban, actually, on killing mountain lions, which you shouldn't ban. You shouldn't ban sport hunting mountain lions. But if you're being attacked by a mountain lion, I don't know. Colorado, 73% approves. Judicial Discipline Review Board. No more right to bail for first-degree murder charges. They repealed the ban on homosexual marriage. Something else here for Colorado. The election day in the Dearborn precinct had 293 Stein, 332 Trump, and 81 Harris. That's just one precinct. Ranked choice voting is on the ballot in several states, not just Oregon, but it's failing. 60% in Oregon is saying no. A couple of states had ranked choice voting. Oregon also is passing a ballot measure for impeaching state officials. 60% approved. That's 61% reporting. 55% is approving setting organized labor guidelines for marijuana businesses. Ranked choice voting was up in Montana, Nevada, Colorado, D.C., and Idaho, and Arizona had dueling partisan election ballot measures. Idaho, 68% said no, so no wonder Idaho can't figure out that Koberger did it, because Idaho's stupid. D.C., 73% is saying yes with 73 reporting. That's exciting. D.C. might get ranked choice voting. Colorado is saying no, 56% with 63 reporting. South Dakota says no to open primaries. The top two advances to the general election. That's how Pueblo, Colorado, and Washington State does it. But South Dakota, again, is just being awful and terrible. South Dakota is probably the biggest fucking loser of the night. Bunch of awful, terrible fucking people. They probably kill all the fucking peanuts in the world. Election alert. California passes Proposition 36, which increases penalties for theft and drug possession. So, Frantifa was not happy about that. She said, fuck all y'all. All y'all, fuck you. Which I didn't vote for it. I'd been against it, but, you know,